organizer for 2 years and has worked tirelessly, gathered literally hundreds, if not maybe thousands of petitions, written letters to the editor at the Daily Cal and other places. It's organized here on the Berkeley campus and in other campuses too, including from her hometown. So I'd like everyone to welcome Talya Hezi.
Really helps our movement. I would like to talk about my high school because that is where I started to realize that something is really messed up in the state. So I started out organizing because I was in a class called AVID. And it sounds like, if some of you know, it's just, it's a class that they inform you about how to get to college, if your family, has never gone to college, or, you need that extra support. So, one day I was at my counselor's office with my mom, and my mom, wanted me to take all the right steps to go to college, because she went to college but in Israel. So she didn't know about the system here. So the counselor suggested that I would get into AVID. So that's exactly what I did. And by the way, I'm from Windsor. It's the nearest big town is Santa Rosa. And there's quite a large Hispanic population community there. So when I went into AVID, I noticed that majority of the students were Latino, were Hispanic. And so I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. We're all trying to get into college, and I knew that, when I first got into the class, they'd give me an interview and like all this stuff. So I was in the class, and I was helping some of my peers out, but I was noticing that they're not in AP courses, and they're not in honors classes, but I knew what they were capable of because I was in a class with them, and I heard them, they were my classmates. We would talk and have discussions and stuff. So, I started, then later I started to actually be part of AVID. We would go to the middle schools to recruit students from the middle school to come to our AVID program. So I started to learn a little bit about how the high school manages its programs and who they attract from the middle schools. And we had 2 middle schools. We had the local middle school, that was just like Windsor Middle School. And then we had a charter middle school that was like Talya, so it was actually a Hispanic kind of middle school. They would teach you Spanish from like whatever elementary school, and they would like bring you up learning to speak Spanish. And so the majority of the students of that school were Hispanic. Like, I would say at least 80% of them. So I noticed that there was a difference in the way that the high school was presenting itself to each middle school. To the local middle school, where it was mostly white actually, the high school would go and say, look, you are smart students. Come and attend our honors classes. Come and be part of it. It's not too bad. You can make it. We will help you. And then after that, you take AP classes and all of this stuff. And then they would go to the Talya, and they would be like, academics courses, they're not that bad. You can make it. You can do it. Like, the academics courses were the honors. So there was honors in academics, and it's academics is like easier. And or they would be like, we have a great ELD program, ESL or whatever. And so they would bring students who have grown up in the community and know how to speak English just perfectly well, and they would put them in ELD. And then after that, they wouldn't encourage them to take honors classes. Sometimes I would talk to those students, and they had like some strange concept that honors classes were like beyond their reach. that it was not even possible for them to achieve that. And it's because they've been conditioned by the high school and by teachers who were, teaching ELD classes that they just were not ready for honors or AP classes. So when I was in my AP classes, it was all white. I did not see one Latino person there. And I remember when my boyfriend, he's Mexican, he's actually an 8540 student. He changed, he was in one academic core and he decided to change to AP classes, but he did it like kind of too late. And he was the only Hispanic student in that AP class curriculum. And I just remember him struggling to stay in that class because, he didn't complete whatever assignment beforehand, like all the other students were doing. And he didn't go to honors courses that really prepare you for AP classes. So there was such a difference in the way that, in the demographics of that school. And actually, someone was sent from the state, like a group of administrators were sent from the state to assess our school. And it's bad when those people from the state tell you that you have a segregation problem. Okay, it's bad.
Right.
Because that was their only criticism. They're like, yeah, your school is really great, you offer lots of programs, but why are Hispanic students only hanging out at this area, and why are they only attending these classes, and why are your white students only in honors courses and AP classes? What's going on? So I started to organize for the DREAM Act. I think the one class that kind of encouraged the Latino student community in my high school to go and take challenging classes was the AVID class. So I started organizing with them for May 1st and the DREAM Act. I would hand out flyers in my high school, try to organize students, but some people were still afraid. They've been conditioned to suppress, whatever they feel as their inequalities are, to not talk about it, not to take challenging classes, and basically be put straight on a path to second-class citizenship, to being crowded like lambs and being treated unequally. So that's what really started me off. And so when I came here to Berkeley and I saw Van with organizing for the DREAM Act and affirmative action, I started realizing, this starts way earlier than just college, but if we can start off bringing people in here from high schools who are already ready, who already apply to college, then we can start something. We can get more. We can start having these students pull themselves up and have a culture and remove all these stereotypes and just not give any more high school administrators excuses to put, Hispanic students in ELD courses. I mean, it's so ridiculous. My boyfriend's sisters, they're 6 years old, and they were both born here, and they enrolled them into a new school, and the school put them in ELD classes. And these girls were born here. They're bilingual. They know English. They speak it better than their parents. They are not ELD students. They are talented bilingual students who need to go into a gifted class, to be put on a track to college. So that's all for my testimony.